Talking about time and scarring, I absolutely understand. And I've seen, there's a video that I shared in the group where the surgeon was manipulating and you can hear the sound of everything kind of breaking open. But one of the questions, and I think it's a great question, I don't have an answer, patients will ask me is, I had a recent case, younger patient, really athletic, active, like doing everything right. Went in and had a manipulation. She was about, I'm going to say 12 weeks post-op. She was past the 6-week mark, had the manipulation. Great surgeon, great patient, great everything. She was at 130 during the manipulation. 24 hours later, she couldn't get back into like 80, 82. And so assuming we can't grow scar tissue in less than 24 hours, I mean, I've got my ideas in terms of the swelling, the guarding, the fear, the anxiety, the emotional component, because she was very upset about how she felt and that she had to have the manipulation. But is there any actual mechanical limiting factor that would come into play in such a short time frame?
Short of a complication of the plastic in between popping out with you cranking the knee, which I don't believe, because most people get x-rays afterwards after we do this. We all should, because you could break a femur, you can break a tibia, especially in early population. So you have to be very careful. So we all get x-rays, make sure everything looks okay. And no, I don't think she built scar in 24 hours when she came to see you. I think you hit it right on the head there. It's the pain, it's the swelling, it's the fear, it's the anxiety. That knee 24 hours ago was perfect. And I had the exact same patient. I got 140 degrees. I took a photo of it. And my therapist the next day says she's back at 90, doc. And I texted him that photo and I said, and I get it. It's not a pain that I'm experiencing, so I'm not going to judge those patients.
Sure.
It's a pain that they're experiencing, and it's real, and it is real, because now all of a sudden all those scars we broke, and it's a very satisfactory actually not operation, but procedure to do in the operating room, because you can literally just hear it. Everybody in the room thinks you're, oh my goodness, what are you doing to this patient?
Right.
But it is all the scarring. Everything sort of does scar down, and it just mechanically prevents you from moving the knee. And after that, it's the pain, it's the swelling, and it's the guarding of the patient that unfortunately that's happening to. If that same patient were to go right under sedation in a physical therapy room with you guys, you'll be seeing great range of motion. And it's unfortunately how it is. It's unfortunate. So what I typically sometimes do for those patients, I couple that with a brace that sort of constantly is moving in the direction you're trying to achieve. You have fully flexion, it's spring loaded, that's got a tension you can crank up. So it's a nice splint. That's what I do for those patients, is to do that. Some surgeons do the CPM machine. It's that continuous passive motion machine that most surgeons now have fallen out of favor and they're not using it. But I know some surgeons are still old school and keep patients in the hospital for 48 hours with that machine, or send them home with that machine. I do the bracing. Because we know that patient is going to go right back to it. We know the patient is going to be very apprehensive for going further to what they were used to. And so we try that. But I will tell you, it's not great. The best manipulations, in my opinion, while they're very satisfying to do when they're at 85, 90, because you're going to get amazing motion, those patients are not able to keep it. What's actually able to keep it, it's the 115, 120 patient that love to get 130, 135. Those guys have already achieved such great motion that those are the ones that are very satisfying, and they actually do get to keep it. That extra 10, 15 degrees you get for them, they actually keep it. Because I think maybe it's not as much stretching, it's not as much tearing of the tissues versus a 90 to 130, 140. That's imagine that did a lot of damage and swelling and pain to them.
And let me ask you, is there a certain time frame, a sweet spot that you believe if we're going to do the manipulation, we need to do it within this time frame?
Yeah. So all the literature talked about 3 months. That was sort of the sweet spot, 12 weeks, 3 months. And that was the time to do it. Now, actually, newer literature are saying that you can wait up to a year to do this. So I tell my patient, yes, we can do it early, but some surgeons actually wait 3 months. So some of my mentors actually fully waited that 3 months. You know how, again, all literature says do it within 3 months.
Sure.
some surgeons, my mentors, and these folks are trained at like Harvard, they actually waited 3 months because the highest inflammatory phase of the knee is about 3 months. Okay. And that's the reason why you'll hear most of the swelling will be resolved in 3 months, or don't clean your teeth in about 3 months, all that, because this is a very highly inflammatory, highly vascular area. That's the reason why we don't want them to like introduce bugs, because it will go to that prefrontal area. But once the inflammation has gone down a little bit, being able to do it then is a little bit better versus if you do it in an already inflammatory process, it's going to scar a little, because that's what inflammation is. It's you're laying down scar, right? I mean, I know we're thinking in our head, oh, we're healing here. You're actually laying down scar. That's what inflammation, that's how our body heals. It doesn't heal in a very organized manner. It heals scar in a very disorganized manner. And so letting that thing sort of calm down first, then doing that, you actually get a less of an inflammatory process. And so studies have shown sometimes even waiting past that 3-month mark is not a bad idea in doing so. So for me, I'm sort of right at that 3, maybe just a little past it myself. I've sort of adopted that. If somebody came to me at 6 months or 9 months and said, I wish I had there was a race car driver that to get in and out of these low cars, these speedsters, he needed more than 120 or so. And so being able, and this was almost about a year. So we're able to do that. And he was able to maintain that to 135. And so you can wait up to a year if you needed to and safely do it and gain motion.